What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking another trip down the toy aisle, and we're going to be talking about the final series of the WWE Zombies basic line. So join me down the toy aisle. Alright, so the first guy up here on our list, also these were released in 2018. So this was, like I said, the final series of this, unfortunately. We have Matt Hardy. Now, I think this one's pretty cool. When I was doing research for these 3 episodes, I was wondering, who would I want to get of all of these? And I picked out a few here and there, but Matt Hardy's definitely one that I want. As far as, we talked about sculpt work a lot on here. I don't think there's another photo. We're going to have to look one up. The torso, completely new, obviously. You can see entirely through the bottom of the torso. The head, I can't tell one way or another if that's just paint or what. I'm going to assume it's paint. I don't know. Then you get on down. Oh, you can't even see the legs properly. Let's look up another photo of this. All right. So we got a picture of the Matt Hardy here. And yeah, so it looks like the pockets are being partially ripped off the sides, which is really cool. So that would be another unique sculpt with being both thighs. Both lower legs also uniquely sculpted. It's interesting to see kick pads under Matt Hardy's pants. I'd never really wondered what he wore. But it's weird to see it under the pants. It's pretty cool. There, you get a really good look at the torso. That's actually insane. The arms are reuse, of course. That is wild. And that's what it looks like from the back. That's pretty insane, honestly. There are companies that make specifically zombies figures, and they don't do cool stuff like that. Like the Marvel Legends What If Zombie Captain America had it where you could see holes entirely through his leg, and I always thought that was really cool. A nice little thing to make the figure feel special. It had a broken jaw where it hung down here. That was pretty insane. We're gonna see if we get a better shot of the face. Okay, wow. That's when True Effects was first starting. That looks really bad up close, but that is the Matt Hardy. Why are these pictures going so fast? So that is paint. That is entirely paint. No new sculpt on the head. So that is fine. And then for one picture, what was it? They turned his torso. I don't know if that was intentional, but his torso is backwards. They spun him around, or spun his legs around. Let's get on to the next figure in the set. The second figure in the set is none other than Charlotte Flair. This one's pretty crazy. I don't remember ever getting this robe from Mattel besides this specific figure. I think that's kind of crazy because this was an iconic robe for Charlotte, which just blows my mind even more why they didn't use it. I don't know. Was this where'd you wear this at? Was it Mania 33? No. 33, 34, 35. No, not 35. Huh, I can't pinpoint off the top of my head, but this robe was pretty iconic with her with the peacock feathers and everything for a while. And then it gets thrown into a zombies line. So let's go ahead and look at some more pictures of this figure. All right, so we got the Charlotte out of package. That is insane. I can't. We're going to have to look at the head up close because I cannot tell if that is sculpt or not. Let's see if we can get the robe. That is sculpt. That is definitely sculpt. That is disgusting. That is actually terrifying. I don't like that one bit. You would have to obviously do a repaint on the robe. Well, okay, so the robe would have had long sleeves, so that wouldn't work either. So it does have the sleeves tethered, but the whole robe is a brand new sculpt. Under that though, that's a plain Charlotte figure. The head sits a little high on here. Was that for the robe? Had to be. Other than that, this is just a standard. That's got to be paint down there on the leg. I don't see why it would be sculpt if 90% of the figure is reused except for the head and the robe. That's pretty insane, though. That's this one obviously looks a lot better with the robe. You would want to have it like that on the shelf, and the peacock feathers are kind of tethered at the top. Looks really cool. It is a solid figure, but let's go ahead and get on to the third one in the wave. If one ever made sense to do in the zombies line, I don't know why. It just seems like Kane would be the guy to go with. And this one's pretty cool. So Kane's whole thing was that he was a burn victim back in the day. So what did they do? They made it where it looked like his half of his torso got absolutely fried, and it's disgusting. This is look at the head sculpt too. I don't know if the mask is removable. I haven't gone that far with it yet, but I love the exposed forearm. That looks really cool. I like the red choke slam hand. That looks pretty cool. Obviously this over here is just all reuse. The legs are entirely reuse. Okay, let's see if we can get that mask. Looks removable, but I don't know. I'm not seeing it. That is just, look at the detailing on that part of it that is fried. That mask looks so removable. I'll have to look up. We're gonna have to go find to see if that actually is like that. That is wild. Alrighty, so I got some good news for you guys. That bad boy is removable, and that is disgusting. That is hard to look at. But that is really good detailing on something that is easily just covered up. They could have easily missed out on details with the mask being on there, and they just decided we're gonna full send it, and that's what it looks like. That looks really cool. That's we're doing pretty good with the wave 3 so far. Let's get on to the 4th figure in the wave. Up next, we have the Demon Finn Balor. This one looks pretty good as well. Not gonna lie. Now it looks like everything besides the head and the torso is reuse. But we're definitely, you guys know the deal, we're going to have to look for better photos of this guy right here, because that is, oh man, that if the sculpt looks half as good as the render over here, we're in for a treat. Let's look it up. All right, so as you can see, dude's missing the lower third of his head. That is insane. The whole jaw, because the demon paint kind of has looks like a big old mouth, and it has the teeth that expose the bone and the tendons and everything right there. That is wild. It's got a hole in the back, because sometimes Finn Balor put a giant eye on his back. That is wild. The forearm is messed up. Obviously, Finn Balor wore sleeves when he wore the demon paint. From time to time, sometimes he would just paint it. So that's interesting why it's on one arm and not the other as well. That would have been 4 additional sculpts to fix both arms. So at a time you get where you're getting in mold costs and everything. But there's the teeth from the paint exposing the upper torso or the chest. That is disgusting. And then you see the spine, I guess you could call it. I don't know. The teeth are painted. That's cool. Looks really good. It's really hard to complain about this figure. The zombie set was really cool, and I'm glad that I decided to go and look at the rest of it, because I think that was a pretty cool decision. And wow, that is insane. So we're 4 for 4 so far with a really solid set. Let's get on to figure number 5. Now, in my opinion, this is the first dud of the set, unfortunately. This is Shinsuke Nakamura in his Michael Jackson-inspired gear. There's just not enough to warrant a zombie release here for me. It looks like there's some tethering on the sleeves. He's got a couple of holes in the rubber vest piece. Looks like one of his hands is just straight bones, that right hand over there. Left hand looks to be untouched. Obviously, it's a new head sculpt. You guys know the deal. We're going to have to look and see some more photos, of course. This one's a little weird for me. The legs are obviously reuse. The arms, like I said, they're tethered. New head sculpt. Has part of his hair ripped out here. It's got a slash in the back to show the torso underneath. That's cool and all. But, this is, like I said, this is the first dud for me in the Series 3 set. This is, unfortunately, a letdown, in my opinion. But we do have one more in this set, and then we have an unreleased figure. So let's go ahead and take a look at those. And the last figure in the set is Jeff Hardy. Now, this one is a little interesting. Torso, pants, all that looks to be reuse. The arms are where he would have the pantyhose with holes cut in them on his sleeves. Those just seem to be exposed muscles, tendons, and all that stuff. That is disgusting. Obviously, it's got a new head sculpt. We're going to take a closer look at this. And then, like I said, this is the last figure of the set. And then we're going to get into the unreleased figure. And there's the exposed arms, and they look just wild. That's actually crazy. Also, I love the image they did of the Jeff Hardy here. I tried to stay away from showing the back of the box just to, not show everybody that's in the rest of the set. But, man, look at that head sculpt. That's rough. They added a real nice black wash, though, to the left side of his face over here. Like, that's actually really cool. Good on their part. Man, like, this figure is wild. You know what I just noticed with Ringside? Like, it seems like they have, like, promo shots. Like this one and this one, where they're, like, really saturated with color. They're nice and bright. And then it looks like photos they take once they actually get it in stock from, like, damaged ones. That's what this looks like, because they just don't have the same, like, brightness or anything to them. That's very strange to put on their website. But let's get into that unreleased figure from the Zombie set. And the unreleased figure from the set was supposed to be in Series 1. This is when Hulk Hogan came under a lot of fire with some pretty crazy things that he said. And this figure got canceled. This, along with the Hollywood Hogan that we were supposed to get at the time, were two of the ones that bite the dust. And I really, really like this figure because, well, you can see he's got a new head sculpt. Looks really cool. I like it. The left thigh has, like, skin ripped away, has cuts on it and everything. Got a nice wash on the boots and the tights to make it look weathered. But the obvious thing is the torso, where when you do Hogan's signature shirt rip, then he's doing a skin rip, essentially. I think that is really cool. Also, something that I noticed was it seems like Series 1 had all personalized shells on their packaging, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about real quick. Up here at the top, I never noticed this, but Undertaker's packaging is in a coffin. Like, you see the plastic shell, he is in a coffin. John Cena looks like he's in, like, some kind of prison cell. Triple H looks like he's in a tombstone with the skulls being at the bottom. The Rock is in the same prison cell. Series 3 didn't have any of this. Roman Reigns, I can't pinpoint what that is exactly. Bray Wyatt can't pinpoint that one. Kevin Owens can't pinpoint that one. That's Series 2 as well. So it's weird. It's really weird how they changed some of the packaging, but some of them they didn't. I don't know, but the zombie set has been really cool. I had a blast covering these figures for you guys. Let me know down in the comments below if you want to pick any of these up or if you have any of these in your collection currently. Just like I said, let me know down in the comments below. But thank you for joining me down the toy aisle on this little 3-episode series. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and last but not least, take it easy.